Hey, it's Chris Kopf, and welcome to the Experts or Authors training course, specifically the Newsletter System Secrets. We're going to go through in this video the overview. I'm going to kind of walk you through the different components at a high level, and then we're going to get into and dive deep into each individual section and how you can utilize the email template that I've provided with you to be most effective, and how you can utilize it and customize it for your own use. So we're going to continue here regarding newsletter system secrets. So let's do a backup overview. Why are we doing newsletters and what's the benefit? Experts are authors and authors are experts, as we talked about before. Newsletters in and of themselves can help you to elevate your status in the minds and the eyes of your prospective clients, specifically listing clients who you'll be sending this to, as well as buyer clients on a regular basis. I personally send this out every month, generally the middle of the month, and sometimes somewhere between the first and second week of the month. It's not a specific time every single month, but I try to wait until the MLS data has been updated. Of course, we're subject to our other co-op agents in the MLS to update the MLS with transactional data. So you can't really publish a monthly market report and a newsletter, the first day of the month, because it might fall on a Saturday or Sunday or holiday, or there might be some transactions that don't get posted for 2, 3, 4, 5 days or more. And so I generally like a week or so to go by, and then I go in and the market report is the key component of the newsletter, but there's other components as well. But the experts or authors concept is that you are knowledgeable about the market. You're sending out a newsletter that is going to differentiate you in the market, and it's going to cultivate your clients. So this is the, when you get a client that contacts you and says, well, we're kind of interested, but we're, thinking about buying. It might not be until next season, or we're going to be there in 6 months. Well, what are you going to do? So put them on your email distribution list. We're going to go into Constant Contact, which is the platform that I use, and I'm going to show you all the components of the template of the newsletter, as well as the how to add people to your database and how to keep that updated and how to send to your lists, and then we're going to also show the different components of how this will promote your listings to the seller, clients that you currently have, and the value of that, and getting your prospective sellers to see that you're marketing and promoting your listings in your newsletter adds value. You're creating value because you're saying, hey, I am an expert in the real estate market, and I'm hoping to earn your business, but along the way, I'm just going to prove my value, and I'm going to send out valuable content to prospective clients and existing clients and past clients that might be curious about the real estate market, might be curious about what's going on in my resort area, different topics that are of interest. There might be new developments, there might be controversial affordable housing projects, there might be nonprofit capital campaigns, there might be new ownership of different entities in your market, there might be specific any of the articles and the things that you post on your blog. You'll take those and put the key ones into your newsletter that you think are going to be of interest. We had a short-term rental restriction here within our historical downtown, and that was a big topic, and a lot of people talking about that. We had a recent announcement by Vail that they're going to purchase the ski area, so that's a big announcement. So those kinds of things you want to make sure are splashed in your newsletter. Does that make sense? And then your dream client interest. You want to attract people, and this gets back to that Venn diagram that I talk about, where you are combining your passion, the thing that you like to do, and how you want to write articles and post blog posts and incorporate that into your newsletter. And I use my example of fly fishing and how that's been able to help me attract a lot of listing clients and buyer clients around something that I really enjoy and I'm very knowledgeable about and I understand. And there's a lot of little small nuances relative to real estate that is in a river or in a place that has private access or fly fishing access. And I understand that and I can talk intelligently about that. It's something I really appreciate and enjoy. And so I integrate that into some of the newsletters that I send out. And then we're turning data into information. And this is really our job as real estate agents, right? It's we have clients that ask us a ton of questions. Well, tell me about that. How does this work? What's going on in the market? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? What are the things that I should be concerned about? And so what we do is we take data, raw data, right, that's available in a lot of places on the internet, and they can go search for lots of places to get raw data. But the value that we're going to provide and the reason a newsletter is important is because we're distilling all this data into useful information. Does that make sense? So we're taking the data and we're giving it and we're chopping it up in nice. Think about going to a very nice restaurant, right? Well, if you went back in the kitchen, and I was a cook for many years in high school and college, it's not always real pretty, but when the plate gets delivered to the patron or the person at the table, what does it look like? Well, in a gourmet restaurant, you might have some really fancy sauces, and they do sort of a design on the edge of the plate, right? And there might be a pressed Parmesan wafer that is stuck in the middle of the mashed potatoes or whatever. There's garnishes, there's it's beautiful. Well, that's what we want to present. We want to take this data and we want to take a step back, look at it, whatever the data is, and we want to say, all right, how is this going to affect our market? What do I think the implications of this thing or event or market data are on buyers and sellers? And how can I provide that in a narrative and in a way that's going to be easily consumed and look good to my prospective clients and my clients? Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what we're doing. Think of you as the artist. You're taking this data and turning it into beautiful information, right? If you're the chef, you're taking the raw materials of the food, you're preparing that food, but then the presentation is beautiful. So when someone gets it, they say, wow, that main entree looks like it's worth $62 or whatever it is. Well, this information that you're presenting makes you look like an expert, okay? Makes you look like an authority, gives you credibility. That's the reason we're doing it, all right? Premium content. And this is, again, I'm going to show you how I utilize links in the newsletter because it might get forwarded from one person to another. And in the blog post, we also use links. But I also, this newsletter is premium content. And so I have on my website a link that says, hey, if you want to sign up for my monthly newsletter, then you can opt in here. Give me your name and email address. And that is something that can go right into your Constant Contact account and add people to your list. So then the next time you send out, those people will be getting the newsletter as well. All right, so that's kind of a high-level overview. We're going to go through these components, the market report. We're going to look at the blog. We're going to look at your links to your listings. We're going to have video tours. These are home tours, lifestyle videos. I'm going to show you how you should promote yourself and what I do, wins, awards, articles, and then the premium content, right? Other things that you might have that you might want to put in your newsletter. So if you want people to download your book or a specific report or something else that you want to, have them sign up for or get access to, you might try and use this to segment your list. This is how you can leverage additional premium content. and then social proof are your testimonials. So those are the sections that we're going to go through, and we're going to dive in, but I just want to give you the high level again. When I talk about the market report, it's this first section here that's on the and so there's a narrative. I have a little icon. If you click here, you go to the market report, and you can read the narrative, which some people will just read this. And this is sort of the summary data, what's going on. I just cut and paste this from the market report. And then I use this infographic that I create. It's part of the market report. And they can click right here, see the full Crested Butte real estate market report. Okay. And then the next section that I talked about, was the blog, right? So if you go back here and see that the next section as you scroll down is the blog. And so I have cut and paste articles from my blog, and we'll go into this in detail. Here's a couple other articles that I have. There's promoting yourself, wins and awards. So if you go back to this blog and this newsletter, I had recognized myself as, again, elite agent within Coldwell Banker, and I was at the Coldwell Banker worldwide conference in Las Vegas. And there's a picture with me and my wife in Las Vegas, and I wrote an article about my attainment as an elite agent within Coldwell Banker. So these are things that you do that you're always wanting to remind people. And sometimes people say, "Gosh, it's really hard for me to do that. It feels like I'm bragging, or I'm boasting, or I'm people are going to think I've got a big head." Well, there's nobody else on your team, unless there is, that's marketing for you. So you have to do it for yourself. So whether it's you or it's somebody on your team, you need to talk about yourself and the things that you've accomplished, the new listings that you've gotten, the things that have sold, any awards that you've gotten, those kinds of things. It's important. All right. And then, so I was published in Land Magazine. I should have made this bigger, but published in Land Magazine. And here's the article. This specific article, I've written a number that have been in that magazine and other publications. And then the end of the newsletter talks about, getting a copy of my free book. So if they click there, they can get my book. And so I have this in there all the time. And there's something called a latent need and an active need, right? So we might be cultivating clients for many, many months or even years before they're ready to sell, right? They could have owned a home in your market for 15 years, and now you've gotten to know them, and then you're sending them a newsletter for 2 or 3 years, and boom, then now they're ready to sell. They have an active need. They might now go back to your newsletter and click on this link to get a copy of your book or your report. It could be a checklist. It could be any kind of thing that you create that's juicy premium content that they're going to want to read, right? The things that we know other people don't know. And so we want to put that, make that available to them. So here's where I have the 3D virtual tours. I have an article about that, which promotes, the things that I do for sellers. And then the videos that I create. Now, these are lifestyle videos. Some of them are interviews. This is an interview with for our Fat Bike World. These are video home tours. This is a video home tour, and this is a tour of the reserve on the East River property that I did a video for. And then, here's the testimonial section of my market report or my newsletter. So much appreciated client testimonials. So I've cut and paste these from Facebook, Zillow, and Realtor.com. Okay, and so, or Google. I think I have them in Google. But anyway, wherever I have, I direct people to post a testimonial about their experience with me. Then I put it in the newsletter. And finally, there's other additional videos that I've gotten. And then along the right-hand side, I didn't talk about this. If you click on these, you'll go to the listing. So I'm going to show you how you're going to build all this. And then we're going to also have a section which talks about your database and your contacts. All right, so that's a high-level overview. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.